Hey, what's good, everybody? You are watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, and we are going to be doing a review for Peacemaker. But before we get into today's review, we're going to be doing a reaction video to the giant fight scene that happened on episode 8. So I'm about to go ahead and start it. You guys ready?
Let's rock and roll.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Can y'all hear it?
Look, I can
hear
We
it.
need you to stay here, Ads. If something happens to us, you're the only hope.
The fuck am I?
What's the plan, man?
Let's go kill a cow.
Right, he got the shield.
Oh, see, I love that. I love that.
It's
Gets
like,
me hyped when the music
it's
starts
like
playing,
they're
man.
playing the music. It's just like an anime. Like they're playing the intro music.
It was like a perfect moment to use it too.
Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. Take them all out. Hey, it's a 3-man team. Like, this is sweet. Christ. Hey, he aimed for the head.
Should have aimed for the head.
Bro, I love Hawk, man.
Got him.
Like, I just love like how in sync they are, man.
Oh,
I thought, like, look, when I saw my man walk out with the shield,
that right there.
Bro,
there it is.
That right there was pretty dope.
it reminded me of something that you would have seen in Suicide Squad when him and old boy were going at it.
Right. Which was one thing I missed. I like those parts where they show me how cool or how good he was at all of this hand-to-hand combat and shooting and gunning and shit.
Bam, right in the head.
BFF.
Don't go after my BFF.
I love how dorky Vigilante is, but dangerous at the same
We're
time.
gonna talk about him.
We're gonna
We're gonna talk about him.
See, this was something that I love. I love the fact that the music didn't stop. Because, you know, like in certain movies and TV shows, like when something like this happens, the cool music just stops playing. But it's just like,
It kept playing.
Well, I like what they do with it, yeah. Oh. I like how he took that, like, kind of, did I get shot?
Yeah. I mean, man, my man been getting it rough the entire season.
He has.
Still able to do that.
Got him.
He got hit with there was a grenade that blew up in front of him. Oh. That's right, she got it rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, no question. She took all the crit damage.
Yeah.
They were still coming for it.
Looked like something out of a zombie movie right there.
Oh, for sure.
He's going down and they're still coming.
And I like how the
love-
music just kind
Yeah.
of
Fades out.
fading out. Yeah.
Sounds like the
Yeah, it
battery's
starts
going
to
out.
slow
And
down. Yeah, it's
Going out in the
power's
CD player?
draining from it.
Oh lord.
It's funny, it's kind of like what he did is he Jordan Peeled the music there. He just slowed it up and it started sounding creepy.
But no, but yeah,
Absolutely.
hey, I really wanted to do a reaction video to that because, like, when I was watching it earlier, I was just like, man, like this. I mean, like all of the fight sequences and all the action this season has been amazing, and we're gonna talk about it in the review. But I was just like, yo, we got to do a reaction video to this fight because it was badass. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh yeah.
are you guys ready to go ahead and get into this review?
Let's rock
No,
and roll,
of course,
man.
let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you are watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Joining me, as always, is my co-host from the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, Rebellious D. How you doing today, bro?
Ready to go, brother.
Hey,
Ready
I'm
to go.
too. Hey, and we had to do this review right. We brought back a former podcast guest. You know, he was up here with us last year for Black History Month, and we bringing him back up here again as we're about to close out Black History Month, and that is director extraordinaire Tom White. How you doing today, Tom?
Man, thank you for that introduction, and I'm more than happy to be here to talk about what I think has been one of the best shows on television for the last for 2022 so far.
Hey, I'm ready to
Of
talk
course.
about this because I know me and you, we talked over Facebook Messenger about it earlier, and then now we got D here with us. So This is about to be a really good conversation. So we are reviewing, as you can see behind me on the screen, Peacemaker season 1. And before we get into today's review, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And D, like you say every time, because you're my BFF.
Podcast. That's right. Like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast in the description. And do me a favor, when you see the like button, ask it, tell it that you're going to give it a series of questions that are tap once for yes and tap twice for no, and then ask it promptly, is its favorite color teal? And while it's thinking about it, click it right in the face. Thank you.
Hey, bro. Hey, make sure I'm gonna piggyback off of that. Make sure you put the peace sign in the comments. You know, that way we know that it's just like you agree with what D says.
Better yet, put the mermaid emoji in there if you can find
it. Put the mermaid.
Thank you. The mermaid emoji.
Or put a cow emoji. You know what I'm saying? But yo, let's go ahead and get into this, man. So I'll say that I am very disappointed in myself because I really would have preferred to do weekly reviews on Peacemaker because, you know, I didn't know that it was going to be this awesome. And I'm so disappointed. But, you know, we finishing it up with a series review. And, man, this show, I know we usually save the ratings at the end of the episode, but, hey, perfect 10. Every episode was a perfect 10.
No question.
I have no complaints, no issues with any of the episodes. And I think that the reason why I didn't want to do weekly reviews was because I didn't know like how Peacemaker was going to be. I know that, you know, me and D and Trav, we've talked about this before. There are certain shows that are out there where it's just like, they're just not worth doing weekly reviews. Like Hawkeye, for example. I mean, it was a good show.
Or the Book of Boba.
Yeah, or the Book of Boba is another.
Book of Boba.
You know what I mean? It's
great.
It's like, it's an okay show, but it's, you know, I don't
kind of
like
very dry at moments, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to
be
honest.
Peacemaker did not have any dry moments, you know. Jumping straight from the start, like I love that, you know, it picked up a couple of months after what happened in Suicide Squad, and was it months or I think it was a couple of years, right?
No, I think it was just a couple.
No, I think it was months. 5 months,
so I was
something like
very
that.
recent.
Yeah. Okay, so I was right. Okay, all right. So yeah, it was a couple of months, and you know, Peacemaker, he getting out of jail. You know, he has to work with Argus now, and you know, he has the team of some of the people that were in the Suicide Squad movie. We had Hawkcore. She returned, and I don't know why I'm not looking at my notes. I'm looking at the Wikipedia.
Diebeard?
Yeah, we had Diebeard.
Hey, go easy on him with that.
Yeah, no question. It's just a funny joke. He actually,
my man poured his heart out.
Absolutely sweet. He was like, why'd your meat suit do that with its beard? Put my man on the spot again.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, it was wild, man. And I did feel bad for him, you know, because obviously, you know, he's the nerd, he's the guy, he's their Trav. You know what I'm saying? He's the guy that stays and you know, focuses on like
in
all the
chair.
tech stuff. Yeah, the chair, the ear. You know, and me and D, we the ones out here in the field.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Hawkcore and Diebeard, Economos, like they returned from the movie. I wonder what happened to the other people that were.
Was there one more person? Right, there was one
like
more.
Member. They didn't all get fired from Amanda Waller's. You know?
Also, they got fired, and then the other ones, they just they were just on the shit list. Yeah. But they got put into Project Butterfly, and you know their leader, Clemson Mern. It's like this dude, he was giving me
pretty funny.
Yeah, he was funny. He really started opening up as the series went along. But you know, Tom, you're joining us up here, man. You already said that this is one of the greatest superhero shows of 2022. I'm surprised you didn't say The Flash. But
Come on.
I gotta be honest, man. I stopped watching Flash in season 3, so
I was right behind you, Tom.
I want to say maybe mid. I might have gotten mid season 3 before I said this is trash, and then it just was gone. Right? Like, you know, because you and I kind of touched on this a little earlier when we talked this morning, Banks. You know, with the CW shows, you know, they kind of have this the things that were the issues with them that are the issues right now that everybody's kind of sick of. They've been issues for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, it reminds me of like in wrestling, like if you love wrestling and you're watching and you're invested in a promotion, even when they start to stumble at points in their storytelling and everything, you still give them a pass because you're like, they'll figure it out. They'll right the ship and we'll get there. The end will justify the means, right? Yeah. And that's how I always felt with the first kind of couple of seasons of the Flash and Arrow and everything there, right? But by the time we got to like season 3 of Arrow and season whatever, I guess 6 or whatever of Arrow and the Flash and all that stuff, it was quite apparent that the issues were going to continue to be those same issues, and they've only just gotten worse. Now, when you get to some,
go ahead, Tom. Finish up. Sorry, no.
Well, but I said, but when you get to something like Peacemaker, yes, okay, it's on another level. On one hand, I think entirely because they didn't treat this like a television show.
Yeah.
Okay. No. When you bring in James Gunn to write every single episode and direct the majority of them, you know what I'm saying? That's not, he doesn't just do television.
Yeah.
He's a big name, and it's funny. There was this one podcast I listened to that they said, when James Gunn is doing Guardians of the Galaxy and he's with Disney, that's like when he's on his best behavior. He's like at church with his mom, right? Like he's doing nothing wrong. And every joke he makes, it might be funny, but it's nice and clean and everything there. Then he gets over there with DC and Warner Brothers, and that's like the divorced dad that gets him every other weekend. And then like before he goes back to Disney, they're like, look, don't tell your mama that I let you see titties. Don't let your mama know that we shot guns or that I gave you a pop brownie.
Like, I want to piggyback, Tom. I just want to piggyback off of that. Not only did they not treat it like a traditional TV show, I think that it's all levels a good show. The casting, the comedic sense behind it, the choreographics, and I love it when you get a superhero show. The difference between Flash and Arrow, real quick, to me is the choreographics. I can appreciate Arrow a little more than I could what they did with the Flash. It didn't look good. They were making characters up left and right, and it was just that Shiva thing. But Shiva, and it's just like with Peacemaker, it was comedy and it was a lot of choreographics. It was practical magic. You know what I mean? And it just helps when you don't overuse special effects.
I agree.
I thought it just helps so much.
I think that's a core thing, because here's the crazy thing was that when we all heard that James Gunn was doing Peacemaker, even if you guys all watch Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if you watch Suicide Squad and then you hear that Peacemaker, out of everybody there, Peacemaker's the one that's getting his own show, right? Like that movie had already made you hate this dude.
Yeah.
Like by the time Suicide Squad was over, like I thought that he played two things that I knew at the end of Suicide Squad. One, I thought it was John Cena's best movie. Two, he did a really good job, both he and James Gunn, of making me now dislike that character, even if I thought he did a great job as that character, And so even when I got to the end credit scene and I knew Peacemaker was still alive, I just kind of liked Banks. I at first was not super interested, right? Yeah. But I was going to check it. I knew I was going to check it out because it was a DC television show. I was going to at least check out that first episode. And I remember the first episode. I think the first episode is probably the slowest one.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. But introducing you to everybody.
But when you get to that beautiful fight scene at the end with him and the girl, and it's playing that song, because at first it starts with his little tighty whitey dance number, right? But it's playing that song, and it's like, I don't love you anymore. Like as they've just been banging, right? Yeah. And then now she's trying to kill him, and she's throwing him through the wall and everything there. It was just beautifully choreographed. Yeah. Beautifully shot.
I'm sorry to cut
Yes,
you
sir.
off, Tom, because
Yeah, man.
I really want to piggyback off of what you were just saying about the first fight that we see at the end of the episode. It's
Mhm.
like I was getting They Live vibes, because when you think about it, it's like the butterflies have
Very
been
much.
here on Earth, but
Yep.
it's just
Mhm.
like they were just trying to bang. You know what I'm saying? So if she would
Right.
have never saw those files, then they would have just banged.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
would have
you know
banged, and then
about-
he would have went on about his business. But because she saw that, you know, this was assignment that he had to do, she was just like, okay, I
Mhm.
got to take him out, and I need to let the other butterflies know what's going on. And I just think that that was really cool when you look at the series once it starts getting towards the end and you find out about the butterflies, and then going back to that first episode and seeing that we don't know what's going on here. All we know is that
Mhm.
Project Butterfly is something that Amanda Waller sent them to do, and it was like one of the lowest tasks that could be given to people that were on her shit list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no
right.
question.
Because that's right. Economos and Hardcore, they really were hating being assigned to this and everything. But again, the butterfly thing. If I could talk about that for a moment, because
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the way they revealed to us what the hell the butterflies were. First, it just gets brought up, and then nobody explains it. You see what I'm saying? We just know that's what we know what we're doing. We know we're gonna go kill this senator and everything there who is suspected of being a butterfly. We don't know what the hell a butterfly is. And then it's just these little breadcrumbs till we get to the end of that third episode, and we see it come out of that dude's head.
Yeah.
And everything there, and like both, and we were kind of, the cool thing was that the same time as the audience that we were kind of like, what the fuck, you know, Vigilante and Peacemaker were having the same response, because neither one of them had been briefed on what the heck a butterfly was either. So it was kind of this crazy aha moment, but it was almost you know, they always say that when you're making a film, or you're making or you're introducing these characters and everything there, the way you build up a character before you finally reveal them can make or break them, you know. And the way these butterflies were built up, like they could have told us in the first episode what the hell a butterfly was.
Yeah.
They could have told us, and telling you, you know, it's always better to show you than tell you in film, right? And they could have told us. They could have even shown us in the first episode. But the fact that by the time that third episode comes and we're still not sure, you know, what's going on, at that point we do know it's something weird, because we saw the tongues come out of, you know, them at the dinner table,
the senator and all that.
Yeah. So, but even then, I still was not prepared for actual butterfly-looking creatures that were implanted in their brains and controlling them now. That still was kind of crazy to even think about. And then now, actually, now that I think about it, with the cow gone, that means, and how many people we saw on that map that were actually butterflies.
Yeah, they
A
done.
lot of people they're done for. There's just a lot of people that's going to drop dead, and we're
because they don't have that source now. You
Yep.
know,
Right.
something that I wanted to piggyback off of what you were saying about the butterflies being inside the humans. I was also getting Men in Black vibes. Remember, you know, the small aliens that were inside the human bodies and whatnot. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to see that either. Seeing like an actual bug come out of somebody's, and you know, and see, and like this is perfect. I'm glad that we're right here right now, because D and Trav, it's not the season right now, but water bugs, I have been saying for the longest time, have been trying to kill me. And it makes perfect sense. The water bugs are like the butterfly. Because I tell these guys all the time, it's just like they always come towards me. Like I've had people over here at my house, and like they'll see water bugs jet. Like they'll run towards me, and like they're just like, what is it with you and water bugs?
Well,
they're trying to take me out. Or
Look,
they
when
want to control my body.
When I show up at your house at 6 a.m. tomorrow with my vigilante costume on, knocking on the windows, asking if you're all right, don't act crazy.
Yo, you know,
don't make any
also
false sudden movements. You might get shot, man.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna come diving right through the window, Tom. Man, I thought you were in trouble.
But yo, but when they had raided Peacemaker's trailer, and like the butterfly that had been inside the jar this entire time, I can't remember if what Peacemaker named the butterfly, but
Gary.
Gary,
what was
it was something.
Gary.
Yeah.
It was no.
Gary,
What was
was
it?
it Gary?
Goth,
That was the Gary. Goth was like the real name for it, or something.
Yeah.
Senator
It was
Goff.
golf. It was golf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he called him
Yeah.
Golf when they were fighting in episode 8. But
Mhm.
yo, like when Golf that jar broke, and then he flew right into Song's
right
mouth.
into that detective.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yo,
Sophie-
I was just like, man, like what's about to happen?
Sophie-
it was
I
graphic.
I thought it was going to
yeah.
be something more along the lines of like, hey, you've been good to me this entire time, Peacemaker. Like, let's be friends. But she was just like, nah. Like, she went to the station. She told
Took everybody.
Fitzgibbon that it's just like she had feelings for you. I just wanted to let you know that he didn't know what was going on. And then when all them butterflies came in the station, that was wild.
Great scene.
Now,
Great scene.
I'm not sure if the new detective, or not the new detective, the new captain, Casper Locke, who was friends with Myrn, like, didn't he have a butterfly inside of him?
I don't think
he did get one. He got
one, but I think
the end of that
he was just helping him at first.
Okay, so he was just the inside man.
Yeah, he was an inside guy.
Okay.
He was guy.
Yeah,
But one thing, I don't mean to cut you off. I want to follow up on what you were saying there. What it was as she pointed out at the end here, Goff pointed out to Peacemaker at the end. She was saying she had wanted to explain to him. You know what I'm saying? Like she wanted his help and everything there. But the whole point that was crazy about it is when they caught Goff, there had never been another butterfly that had survived a situation with Peacemaker in the team. So they never were able to mobilize. But once Goff was able to get free and, once Goff was able to get free and get into the detective and then go and get reinforcements and everything, they just mobilized. But here's my thing. Like, they went and tried to get certain people on the team, but it seemed like the main thing that they knew they needed to do was get the cow out of there.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was kind of their main thing. Like, I think they wanted to stop Peacemaker's team because they knew Peacemaker's team wanted to stop them.
Yeah.
But my question that I want to have is there a butterfly inside Judo Master?
That's what I was. No, that's exactly.
No,
I don't think so.
There isn't one inside of him because remember what Goth has said was that we told Judo Master what was going on, and he was just like, "I want to help you guys out," because it made sense,
Same thing with Peacemaker. She didn't even try to put one in him.
Yeah,
not right. When she was talking.
I felt like at that point, part of her problem was that she had, like, I don't know if there was anybody even available now. Everybody was upstairs and dying and everything.
Yeah.
But my thing with Judo Master, because I love the show. Judo Master is the biggest question mark for me, where I'm like, how the hell did this guy get involved?
Yeah.
With these butterfly things in the first place? Like, why is he here? Like, I get that he supports their mission and everything.
He could just be
where the hell did he come from?
I can answer that. It's Judo Master was just like your boy Bushido Brown from the Boondocks. They needed somebody. They needed a good martial artist and whatnot. Exactly. Somebody to help them out. And they was just like, he's the guy. And Tom, I want to piggyback off of something that you had said earlier about like when they introduced us to Peacemaker and Suicide Squad, and then him coming and getting his own TV show. I just thought that it was interesting to see his development and like to see the reason why he was who he was. He ended up killing his brother when he was kids. Like him and his brother, like they were tight. They were best friends and whatnot. And after that, he prayed to God and he was just like, I'll do anything for peace. And so when we find out the reason why he does that, it makes sense when you go back to Suicide Squad and why he ended up, killing old boy.
Being on the because that information couldn't get out.
Yeah, exactly. And remember what he
Right.
said, and cover your ears because I'm about to say something dirty. But remember when he was on the beach, he said he'll suck all the dicks for Pete. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, "I'll fuck everything
God.
out here." I was like, wow, he is serious.
He's
I was like,
serious.
Oh yeah, no
he's
question.
serious. Because I might off a guy before I'm going to suck any dicks. So
Yeah.
I mean, if he's down with that, I believe he's committed.
You crazy? That's all. You
Now,
crazy.
something that I want to bring up, and D, I got this question for you, is first episode, we're introduced to Peacemaker's dad, the White Dragon himself, August Smith. And bro,
Super funny.
like when they showed, because like he lived in like a small little trailer too, and when you showed that the bathroom has like its own bat cave inside of it, then you have all these Peacemaker helmets, and you see the White Dragon outfit. Like, what was your reaction to seeing all of that? Seeing the Augie in general, and then Robert Patrick. I mean, I thought it was cool casting. Robert Patrick plays a good villain role. You know what I'm saying? But what was your
Of
reaction?
course, he always has. Yeah. Is it me first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought it was awesome seeing him. He's an icon to me, a legend. But I thought he was a great pick, and I love the character. It's hard to say. I mean, it's not hard to say, but I really like the chemistry and all the characters on the show. Judo Master, I thought that his little back and forth with Peacemaker was amazing. I thought it was funny. He caught them dudes outside the store. They called him a leprechaun. That was absolutely hilarious. But I mean, White Dragon, he was hilarious. He was telling them the story about the guy that shot him, and he was scared of rats. That was epic. I mean, it's just it was well done, and to see Peacemaker's origin and understand why characters doing what they're doing is always important to me. And his dad was a dickhead,
Yeah.
Excuse my French, but it is what it is. Backwoods, you know what I mean?
Races, he had.
Yep. Oh man, he had the guys with the white pig heads on.
Yeah, man. Hey, he showed up in prison. They was just like, he's back. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, and that one brother got right off his bench.
Oh my
I ain't dying for those seats.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it was classic character. I thought he was a great I guess a great minor villain for the show for season 1.
Yeah.
So, and it was funny because Peacemaker basically he was fighting him, but his dad didn't have nothing to do with the butterflies. He was just an asshole.
He was just an asshole.
I mean, it was just like what?
White Dragon, he had that Tony Stark money, man. He put that shit together.
What are you doing? Something I should have done a long time ago.
Technically, White Dragon even being involved was a dye beer screwed up.
Yes.
If he had not framed him, which everybody told him was dumb, just dumb. Why would you do that? Had he not framed him and sent him to jail, Peacemaker's dad would have never known what the hell Peacemaker was out there doing, nor would he have given a shit.
That's true. That's true.
But
to also piggyback off of that, if Vigilante would have never went to the jail and tried to kill him, then he would have never even got out. And that's one of the things, like, I loved Vigilante because he reminded me of one of those guys that is on Facebook, and whenever you post something, they try to come up there with all these facts and they mansplain stuff. It's just like, who is this guy? Like, we're like, hey, D, it's like I be asking Trav sometimes, what's your source? I read it on the internet.
Yeah,
I read it on the internet.
Hey, there he is. They made a character just for you, Bates.
Well, look,
all of the characters were sweet. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, hold on Vigilante there.
Yes.
For a moment, just because we're talking about specifically him going in to kill, to attempt to kill White Dragon. That one of my favorite scenes was before that, when Adebayo was sitting there talking to him and convinced him to go and do this. Because the thing that was cool about that was it was a little bit of character building, because it proved she's a lot more like her mom than she thought.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot more, like, because all that was right there was just Amanda Waller. Because she's like, hey, I want you to go kill his dad without him knowing, like behind his back, because for the good of the mission. Because if not, he's we got to get his head in the game. Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, she had a strong point too.
The shock when it was revealed that she was Amanda Waller's daughter, and it makes perfect sense because you wouldn't know because she changed her last name. She took her wife's last name, which was cool. So nobody would even put two and two together. But, I do want to talk about her a little bit because when it was revealed that she was her daughter and then how she was able to manipulate people. And of course, if you play that, oh, I'm dumb, like I don't know what I'm doing, I'm scared and stuff like that, people are going to think that you're weak, but she really wasn't weak. And I feel like that she was kind of the heart of the team. You know what I'm saying? Like she made people open up. She was the kind one because like when you look at somebody like Harcourt, it's just like she was a badass, cold ass bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like she didn't trust nobody. She just wanted to drink her beer and she wanted to do her job. But because of the team and everything and the development for all of the characters on the show is just so well. I was shocked when we had already knew that that Myrn was a butterfly when they revealed it at the end of episode 4. But when she went into their building and she had activated the X-ray vision and she saw the butterfly, like, because we didn't know if he was friend or foe. And when Hardcore, she came in and she was like, "Oh, you found out he's a butterfly?" And she was like,
"Yeah, like she's like, I've been knowing that shit."
I mean, like it was cool, and like that's how you do comedy on shows like this because it's just like. It was funny,
subtle.
but it's subtle. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, like going back to the Flash or something like that, it's like it can just be overbearing. Like I was talking with Tom about this earlier with Legends of Tomorrow because I know me and you, we talked about this as well. It's like they had like the first and second season, like they had comedy up there, and like it was subtle. It wasn't a lot. Whereas now on Legends of Tomorrow, it's like they don't even take themselves serious anymore. Like they break the fourth wall. They talk about the crossover episodes and all this other stuff.
The thing is, with when it's just like any team or well-oiled machine, when you start to replace parts or characters or actors and actresses at this point, you're messing with the chemistry. And then you just that's why it's important to maximize what and know what you have when you have it, and then just be done with it. But now look at the flat, we've seen these shows go from good to lacking, for lack of better words, and it's that's the point, Banks. They just started replacing people, and now it's like 2 people on the show now that we're up there.
You got a whole team. But see, and then this is another thing too, because like me and Tom, we was talking about this earlier. You have Doom Patrol, you got Titans, now you have Peacemaker, and I am not a fan of shows or superhero shows where like there's a team involved. You know what I'm saying? Because certain superheroes, like they don't need a team. Like they just need to be.
Flash doesn't need a team.
Yeah, Flash doesn't need a team.
Sure doesn't.
But on Peacemaker, it makes sense. Like he's been assigned to work with these people. You know what I'm saying? Like these aren't just people that he came across and are just like, yeah, now we're team Peacemaker. Like I hate that stuff, but Titans, of course it's the Titans, so it's a team. Like it's an already established team. Doom Patrol, it's an already established team. But then you look at the CW stuff, and like I love what they're doing with Superman and Lois because the team is the family. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Black Lightning. The team is the family.
It's the team. It's the family right now, but you can almost see on Lois and Superman where they're starting to move into Team Superman. Yeah, and it's kind of like, please, like you were doing so great. You know what I'm saying? Like the idea of the team being Lois and Superman. You know what I'm saying? Like Lois has got her ear to the ground doing investigative journalism, figuring everything out. And then Superman comes in to save the day. It almost, the first season almost reminds me of the old little serial cartoons where Lois will be the one figuring out what's going on, what Lex Luthor or whoever's up to. Oh, yeah. And then in the end, Superman comes in and saves her, and then handles the whole thing. But it's like, and I think that's a main thing. I think you hit it right on the head there with that whole team dynamic for all these different characters. The Flash is not a team-based superhero. No, it's crazy because the most team-based superhero is Batman. Yeah. And they never want to give him a fucking team. Like anytime they do Batman, they always make it solo, but they never want to get into him actually having a team. But then they'll be over here and they're like, well, it's Team Flash.
Mhm.
Didn't have one.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey,
it's just
and
him.
now on Legends of Tomorrow, they said that Booster Gold is going to be on the team, and Donald Faison is going to be playing him, which is cool. But it's just like I'm just like Legends again. It used to be good, and
The
see, and
thing
like
is,
Legends,
what took him like
Legends
Booster? Hang on,
work-
Banks. He's a time traveler, basically.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What took him
Yeah,
so long to
exactly.
add him to the damn show?
and he was
He should have
chilling.
probably been from the beginning.
He was
Yeah,
chilling.
exactly.
But,
My
but
point.
see, what Legends of
Mhm.
Tomorrow works because it's a team of people who aren't doing anything, and they were thrown together. But
Right.
like Team Flash, like if it would have just been Flash, Cisco, and Caitlin, and like that was it. He has his tech people,
Yeah.
Right.
and that's fine.
Exactly.
But then it's just like you added Iris,
And
now you
everybody got
Dee's
superpowers.
favorite guy Chester, and you got the 12th Harrison Wells. I'm just like, come on, man. It's
Harrison
too
Wells
much.
thing really grated my nerves by season.
It was
3.
sweet. It was sweet at first, but they just
Yeah.
At
didn't let
first
it. They
was
didn't
cool,
let it
but
go.
by the time, look, because
Yeah.
my thing was this: when they revealed Flash was literally at its peak and best when he revealed that Harrison Wells was the reverse.
Yeah,
Flash.
that was
Yeah.
absolutely
Okay.
sweet. Then it
And
just,
the first time that he whooped Barry's ass all around Central City
Mhm.
and drug him back to Star Labs, like that was so dope that you in the show never got back to that point.
Yeah,
of
just
the
say it,
actual storytelling.
Tom, just say they never recover. It's like losing a fight and just trying to stand.
It
They never stood back up.
Yeah.
There were a couple points where you saw little flashes of what could have been, but
Mhm.
you're right. They never got back to
I
there.
was like,
And
what the
that
hell?
first season of Flash was really good television, though.
Yeah, it
I
was.
Oh yeah, no
Yeah,
question.
it was
bro.
really
No
good.
So good. It was
Back when nobody knew he was a Flash.
It was
Yeah.
must see TV at that time because
Right.
a lot of people were already kind of drained on Arrow because they were doing the whole Oliver and Felicity thing, and like people weren't really fans of
Already
that.
beating that.
Same-
into the
Then
well,
ground.
it's the
did-
same. It's the same thing. If nobody ever knew that he was Arrow, it would have been better.
Yeah.
Well,
But it
because
was
it was a better show when it was him and Diggle, and then
Diggle
maybe
was sweet
Felicity.
too. Yeah,
That
and
was
then
it.
it's just
Well,
they just
just the
kept
three of them.
going. It
And
just
then
kept
more
going.
people. And then now
Yeah.
I need these people, and now you got Romero, all these different people.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
it's like, who
I
are
did
these
like-
new era?
I did like
I
Mad
was really
Dog,
done.
but he was sweet.
Mad Dog was cool, but I was
Yeah,
really
go ahead.
done once the Ragman guy got involved. I was like,
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm like, why did
Now
they
y'all
have to
got someone with
stay?
superpowers.
Like, what happened to just superheroes collabing and then they go their separate
Yeah,
ways?
yeah,
Or
now
separate
go back
ways.
to your comic
Hey,
book.
you can stay here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like no, you're part
Was
of
it
the
halfway
team.
house? Damn.
Hey, it's like an RPG game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
like-
they were building the team, but
Uh.
I mean, I still watch the Flash, and just seeing the direction that they're going in. Like season 8, it did start off well, and now it looks like they're focusing on their kids now. And
8? It's on season. Is this season 8 now?
yes, it's
Yeah.
on season 8, and it's already been renewed for season 9.
God,
you,
let
Max.
the show die.
Hey, as long as there's somebody telling this man to run, then he will continue to run. But to get back on Peacemaker,
Yeah,
because
get
it's
back
like
on
we're
Peacemaker,
getting
'cause this is
towards
just
the end of the
upsetting me.
review. I definitely want to touch on the season finale because we did the reaction video at the start of this thing, and like that fight, like it was just so epic. I loved everything about it. And also, before I talk about episode 8, I want to mention in episode 7 when they were at the vet and like they were giving that motivational speech, and like the people at the vet, they was just like, it's time to go kick
Yeah,
some
with the
ass.
guns. Yeah,
Yeah, they
Hey,
had the guns and everything. And I mean,
need
I
us?
get it. You want to save the world. Like it's an alien invasion coming. But the season finale, it delivered. Tom, like you had said earlier, it was a good way to close the series. And that's how series are supposed to end. Like that's how superhero shows should end. It's like you end on a high note, unless you want to end on a low note, so that way it sets up for the next season. But I don't want to talk about Flash or any of these other shows anymore because it's like I never feel satisfied when I watch these season finales. But with
they just
Peacemaker,
end.
I felt good watching the season finale.
Mhm.
Like the action was on point. The ending that we see that Augie is inside Peacemaker's head now and whatnot. The music was on point. It was like an anime intro where like they played the anime music in the
No
giant
question.
fight. And the reveal that we got, where they showed that the Justice League showed up.
Oh, that cameo was great, man.
Yo,
Yeah, well placed.
I want to say the reason why I thought that moment was awesome is because us as nerds and watching all these superhero TV shows and movies and all this stuff, you know, everybody always asks, well, where were they at? Where were these people?
Where were they at? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, you watching Spider-Man too. Like, where are the other superheroes? Like, why is nobody else helping Spider-Man? And they answered the question with the Justice League showing up. They showed up late because I know that was something that was mentioned in Suicide Squad when they were fighting against the Giant Star. They was just like, where's the Justice League?
We brought it up.
You know?
Right.
But
well, that's because that is definitely a question, and I cut you off, but that is something that every single solo superhero outing where it gets too big. That's one of the things I really like about the Marvel universe. Like when Spider-Man would have his movies, as much as people would complain that, oh man, he's got Iron Man in his movie, he's got Nick Fury in his movie, he's got Doctor Strange in his movie, it still made more sense because of the level of what was going on.
Yeah,
of course. Like, you know, there was a whole ferry that got split in half, and Spider-Man can't fix that situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, that seems like a job for Iron Man. You see what I'm saying? So it made sense for him to show up and save the day. And so you got this cool thing, and then most of the DC movies, other than those, like most of the DC movies, still exist in their own kind of pocket universe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is something that I just wanted to mention it too, that this is something that I bring up to Banks and Trav a lot, is that I wish that they would get outside of the big six mindset. And it seems like they're finally willing to do it with like shows like Peacemaker, Titans, Doom Patrol. And it's just, I was looking forward to seeing the Swamp Thing TV show, which was unfortunate.
I was so upset about that. The word was that whole thing got screwed up just because someone didn't do the paperwork.
Yeah, it was like licensing or something like that. It went that deep.
It was taxes.
Because I thought it was something with a shooting location.
Yeah.
And I guess licensing would go with that.
I had heard it was all taxes because I think they shot it down. I think they were shooting in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It was. You had it.
And so, but it was, and that sucked so much because literally the first episode dropped and they let you know there's not going to be a season 2. I was like I found that out. Like I was reading the article, there's not going to be a season 2 while I was watching episode 1. So I was like, why would I? And I was loving it.
Yeah.
And I was loving it. I was like, why would I finish this?
Exactly.
Something that I found interesting too, I brought this up to Banks, is that the guy Tyler, who's playing Superman now, the gentleman that's playing he is, and the guy who's playing the new general and the young lady that was the lead in Swamp Thing, they were all from a show, Teen Wolf. So I'm just kind of wondering where the connection comes from James Gunn, maybe, or the cat. I mean, I'm wondering how they all got jobs. Also, the grandfather from the Teen Wolf MTV show played on Smallville as well. So I don't know if it's like one big circle. You know,
sometimes that's how it is, man.
Yeah, is it all who you know?
It's all
a lot of times
directors and stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, directors tend to work with their same people a lot of times. And with James Gunn, I know like Harcourt is his girlfriend. It's James Gunn's girlfriend.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they're actually dating.
Well, I mean, bro. I mean, and I'm sorry to cut you off. I mean, it goes back to Suicide Squad. You know, James Gunn. He knows a lot of people, and James Gunn. He's just like Martin Scorsese, where it's just like, you know, he has people that he'll always put in his movies, whether it's a main role or, you know, I'm just putting you in the movie because you're one of my friends. And in Suicide Squad, like James Gunn had like a bunch of people who were in Guardians of the Galaxy, and then there's people that were in Suicide Squad and in Peacemaker who are going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Like Myrn, he's going to be playing, I think, the High Evolutionary or something.
New villain, yeah.
Like so. That. I mean,
I gotta cut you off though, because you just said something that I know Martin Scorsese would have hated to hear.
What's that?
You said, you know, James Gunn, he's basically like Martin Scorsese, and I just, as soon as you said, I was like, Man, I know Scorsese's alive and well, but if he had a
gonna
grave,
find
he'd
me.
be rolling all in it right now.
He gonna find
Hey,
me. But
Whatever you
but
do, Banks, get rid of that bag of helmets you got in the trunk that I
oh
put
my
in there.
God. But yo,
Go ahead and get
I
rid of
want to
those.
say this, and then after that, I want to ask you guys, final thoughts and what
Okay.
you're expecting to see in season 2. But
Sure.
the cameos that we got at the end, like at first, of course, I thought it was just going to be shadows. They were just there
Yep.
because we seen that on Titans, where it's just like they've showed Batman, they've shown Joker,
Mhm.
but they never show you the face. And like when they were walking towards him, and then we see that it's Aquaman and Flash, and I was just like, yo, like this is awesome. Like I was not
Pretty cool.
expecting
Yes.
this, and that the whole thing where it's just like Aquaman sleeps with fish and Flash is just
Yeah.
like, I mean,
Oh yeah,
like,
Flash said it's not a joke. Hey, that's real.
yeah, that's
It's
real.
Fuck you, Barry.
Yes, I mean, like that was
Uh-huh.
cool, and I think again, like I said, that's how you satisfy your fans, and like that's how you wrap up a season. And
Correct.
I want to ask, starting with you first, D.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, rating, what you're expecting to see in season 2.
I'm gonna give this one. I slept on it early. It was more of I thought we would be busier, but we did open up. You re-recommended it to me. I picked it up in a flash.
Hey,
No
don't just
pun
say
intended.
me. There was a couple of people that recommended it. To you.
Yeah, there was Big Johnny 5. The brother from another mother. I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, man. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I'm
Yeah,
going with a
come
10.
on, you keep the.
I was just
change.
thinking of the, I was thinking the tune in my head,
Do you want to taste it?
Do you really want to? Yeah.
some of that. But amazing show. Can't wait to see. I don't want to make any predictions for season 2. I think that we'll probably get one more addition. One thing that I really enjoyed about this is that it wasn't relying on a Harold and Kumar where it's just two funny guys just bouncing.
Mhm.
It was more like it was all three of them. It was is it Geronimus? Hieronymus?
Economist.
Economist. I didn't want to call him
Economist.
Diebeard, so didn't want to. I had to
Yeah,
put some
yeah.
respect.
Yeah.
I thought
But it
you
was
about to
more
say
like-
Back
Eagle.
on him, man.
I
But
thought
it
you
was like
gonna
the
say
three of
Eagle.
them. And then Eagle. Hey, shout out to Eagle.
Eagly is the best. We haven't
But-
talked enough about Eagly.
No, we haven't. But it was
Never talked
Eagly
enough about
was
him.
the example what I was talking about, where you use your special effects or your you sprinkle it in, and it's not overwhelming. They use it on the butterflies, and it looked great. You know what I'm saying? Because you weren't getting it crammed down your throat. And but it was an amazing show, man. I can't wait to see what characters they add in. I'll probably start looking at some other Suicide team ups to see what kind of people they could piece together. Judo master, very funny little guy. We knew a guy. I was messing with Banks earlier. We knew a guy. And I think I hit it on the head. I might stop by his house tomorrow. He gonna put me in the arm lock.
Hey, he gonna be sitting there eating the hot
Eating
Cheetos.
the hot Cheetos. I'm gonna pull
Hey,
right
he gonna
off.
flick one at your face.
He might. But 10 out of 10. Can't wait. Tom.
Yeah, man, I had to tell you, this show has been something that for the last few 8, I guess not a little bit less than 8, because I know the first 3 episodes released together.
Yep.
So for the last month or so, when I wake up on Thursday morning, I would get myself like a little thing of creamy potato soup, little sipping creamy potato soup, tomato soup, and I would sit down and I watch freaking Peacemaker. My wife has gotten to the point where now she was like talking like last weekend about like dreaming like John Cena, something happened with John Cena all of a sudden in her dream, and she wakes up and she hears the music playing. And because I'm like, as soon as I wake up, I'm like, I'm up. Thursday was like the only day where as soon as my alarm went off, I'd get right up. And so I would because if I go right now and take a shower, then when I'm done, I'll have enough time to watch Peacemaker before work.
Thursday morning
Oh
cartoon.
yeah.
And,
That's right.
and it was crazy because the only other shows that have been like this for me over the past year have been WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
That
And,
Falcon the WandaVision too. Amazing.
After that, like I haven't been like hyped for anything until now with Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And I want to put some love on Eagly because I have never seen such good visual effects work Because I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah,
you can't
exactly.
convince me that's not a real eagle, man.
Yeah.
It
You
looks
just-
so good, and it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't in your face every 5 minutes. So
right.
Yeah, he came when you
refreshing.
needed him.
yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
when you need them. Like it's funny because I feel like in the Mandalorian, I love Baby Yoda. Everybody loves Baby Yoda, but we all know the point where that show realized that Baby Yoda was the moneymaker, and we leaned so heavily into Baby
Mhm.
Yoda. Eagly, very early on, people loved Eagly,
Mhm.
but they still used him sparingly enough
Yes.
to where he never takes over the show. So
Mhm.
again, like everybody still got their things going on. So every time you deal with Eagly, it's still a special moment. Man, when he took that helmet in this finale, and they were like, "Go put it on the barn," and like for that split second where you were like, "Man, he's
You
gonna
thought
do
he was
it."
gonna
Like
do
I,
it.
I, I thought he was gonna do it. Like I was like, "This is how we're gonna get," and he just.
Just kept on flying. Uh-huh.
Classic.
And it was so perfect.
Mhm.
So this show has been something I've enjoyed every Thursday morning. Each episode has been, I don't want to say one was better than the next one, because here's my thing. I can't find you. You would be hard pressed to find one episode that I did not enjoy
Yeah.
out of these 8.
Yeah.
And it also ended right when it should. I
Mhm.
thought that the season finale was fantastic.
Yep.
You know, the way that it just starts off, you get right into the action with everything.
Mhm.
And God, that Justice League cameo, the fact that they actually got Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller to do that, and now it's connected. Now it's bigger than any of the shows because it's the only show that's actually connected to
Yep.
the cinematic universe.
That's true. That's true.
You see what
And
I'm saying?
Hopefully, I'm sorry to cut you off, but hopefully, because people, they want to see another Justice League movie. They want to see,
Right.
After the Snyder Cut came out, it's just like, you have to give us what we want. You know what
Let
I'm
me
saying?
take you back
Like,
right there real quick. I just want to mention for anybody who by any chance is watching it or has not touched it, it's fine. It's a fine show to binge watch or to eat, in bites, because it's a
Mhm.
phenomenal show. It's just, you can take it however you
Mhm.
want it.
Yep.
It's not like, man, I'm already in here, let me go ahead and binge through it. You're gonna enjoy the show.
You're gonna enjoy it.
You're
You
gonna
you
enjoy
will.
it one way or another.
Each one. So yeah, I got to tell you, and at the very end, the one last thing I'll throw in there. This even added a song to my damn iTunes playlist.
No question.
Uh-huh.
Wigwams. Do you really want to taste it, man? That is like, that's on. If that's not on your workout list and everything now, like I just I don't get it. That it's
What are
a
you
dope
doing?
song. Yeah, what are
Yeah.
you doing? What are you doing? That's a dope song. It gets me hyped now. Just like when they went out there to go start shooting everybody at the end. Hey, it gets me
They
hyped,
basically
man.
got their own
10 out of
Scorpion.
10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Okay, so
10
now
out
I'm gonna
of
pick
10.
it up right here, man. And that was one of my favorite things, because it's like, when you watch like an anime, like Cowboy Bebop, for example, something crazy happens, and then that
Yeah.
that's exactly what they
Some of
did
that
here,
tank.
because it's like something funny, dumb, or crazy what happened, and then like everybody's just standing there, and then, do you want to taste it? Do you? And I was just like, yo, I would get so hyped. I never skipped the intro, and
Never.
I'm mad that he couldn't join us tonight, but cosplayer Moody Vision, he cosplayed as Peacemaker, and I remember when I watched those first 3 episodes, I tagged him on Facebook, and I was just like, yo, if you do not do the intro dance, I'm gonna be disappointed. And he did the video, and I interviewed him. That interview is up here on our YouTube, so check it out. That's Moody
awesome.
Vision and whatnot. But yo, this show, it was awesome. I love that we got the 3 episodes to start it off, because it's just like, I wanted more. And that's how superhero shows are supposed to be. But not just even superhero shows, just shows in general. It's
shows
like,
in general.
they should just leave you wanting to see what's going to happen next week. And, Loki didn't do that for me. I agree with Tom. WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, Superman and Lois, Stargirl, like those shows, they leave me wanting to come back for more and to see what's going to happen next week. And I can't wait until season 2 comes out. I can't wait to see the direction that we're going to go in. Peacemaker, he's an anti-hero now. I'm going to say he's the Punisher of the DC universe that's out right now. And like I said, perfect 10. So let us know in the comments what you thought about the first season of Peacemaker. Season 2, it has been announced. Tom, thank you so much for joining us up here.
Man,
Let everybody on
respect.
social media
Thank
land know
you.
where they can find you.
You can find me at on Instagram at TW underscore channel CH757. You can check me out on Facebook at channel 757, on YouTube at channel 757. Yeah, that's and at channel757.com.
Awesome. D?
Right. First and foremost, if you want to find me, probably on Sunday mornings, I'll be in my backyard, force multiplying toilets, vases, cars, whatever I can find for practice. Or you can find me at rebellious _D23 at Instagram.com. Thanks. I almost passed out there, but if you really want to taste it, where can they find it? Thanks.
Hey, if they want to taste it, you can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks. On Twitter and Instagram, you can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again for watching our review. I know we went a little long on this, but it was totally worth it. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys enjoyed the reaction video that we got at the start of the video. Make sure that you check out some more of our reviews, interviews that we have here on the channel, along with reaction videos. Check out our podcast where we have brand new episodes every Tuesday. The link is down in the description below. Like I say every time, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Happy Black History Month. Peace. Thank you for watching a brand new episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure that you hit that like button and you subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content on our channel. Make sure you check out our podcast where we release new episodes every Tuesday and the video of that episode is uploaded on Friday. And you can find new episodes of our podcast on all podcast platforms. Make sure you follow all the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks social media accounts at Leveling Up Banks on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, we have a Patreon. If you're feeling generous and would love to donate to us, it's at Leveling Up Banks. And huge shout out to our patrons. We really appreciate you and thank you for the support. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks.